Hello, this is Dutchmate, and with me being curious lately about these video game gadgets that a lot of people are not familiar with, I went out and bought this Retro Mini, which is a Game Boy Color clone, but only plays Game Boy Advance. It's very unique, and I'll let you guys know if this is worth it. The Retro Mini certainly comes in a really cool package, and the build quality is actually pretty nice. It's very small, especially compared to a Game Boy Color, which is why it's hashtag mini. But with this, it does have a backlit screen, which is very nice, but the menu is really cheap, especially compared to the MP5 player. Now, it does have a storage on the Mini, as well as it comes with an SD card, which was really nice. But the games that are on there are all in Japanese. Even when you boot it up and play it, it's in Japanese. So that's a big minus for me. Or in Chinese. I don't know if that's what that is. But anyways, if you go to your SD and take it out and plug it into your computer, you can add literally all of the GBA games. The one minus of this is that you can only play GBA and not play Game Boy Color or just regular Game Boy games, which is really a big minus to me. Now, the response time for touching is pretty good. The button quality is pretty nice. Same size D-pad and buttons as the Game Boy Color, and these buttons are very similar too. For some reason, they do have shoulder buttons, which you do use a little bit on the Game Boy Advance, but not that often. So, again, I put a lot of the Game Boy Advance games on here. I literally put them all on here, and then I took off the ones I really didn't want. I'll turn up the sound, which the sound is extremely bad on this. Extremely tinny, as you can tell. But the overall response time is pretty good. The screen is extremely small, especially compared to a Game Boy Advance. And there could be a little bit of a lag between the screen. So that is another negative about this. All you do to get back to the main screen is press start and select and go return the game, save state options, or quit the game. And that's what you do. Again, the menu is terrible. I do not recommend to buy this based off the menu, obviously. But again, you can listen to music on here. But the quality is extremely tinny. So you're not buying this for the music player. It is also a video player just like the MP5 player, but again, the quality is definitely not the best. Now pictures, you cannot take pictures like you did on the MP5 player, which is a plus because honestly, there's no place to put a camera on here and it would be terrible. But you can view photos on here if that's what you want to do. You can also read books on here, as this one is all in Chinese or Japanese or whatever it is. Definitely not going to read what's on the stock version of this. Now again, the screen is actually around the same size as a Game Boy Color. It is smaller, and it's definitely noticeable. It is extremely small. With my hand, let me scale it back, it's about the size of my palm. Granted, I am 6'3", but that is an extremely small device. The battery life on this thing seems to be extremely small as well. It is a charge battery pack, so you don't have to pay for batteries, but it does not seem to last nearly as long as it should. Lucky for you, you can also use a headphone jack to listen to your games rather than listening to this terrible, terrible speaker. Now back to my face for the final verdict of this Retro Mini. My end verdict about this product is that it is unique and it's very cheap, with it being around $35 to $40 US, but the quality is a little bit lacking, and for the same price or cheaper you can get the MP5 player, which I definitely recommend a lot more than this little product. Now if you are a hardcore Game Boy Advance collector, or aficionado, or if you are a hardcore Game Boy Advance if you are a hardcore Game Boy Advance fan and want all your games in this one little packet for nostalgic purposes, because it does look like a mini Game Boy Color, I would definitely recommend you getting it for 40 bucks. It's definitely worth that cost for nostalgic purposes. But if you're looking for the best deal, I definitely recommend the MP5 player that I reviewed on my channel earlier. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Comment below. Until next time, this is Dr. Smitty. Make sure you guys get your game on. Peace.